Hello family, it's your girl Nicolette coming back at you for another video. Again, like I said, you guys, I am on a roll, and today I'm going to hit something that we all love and hate to talk about, which is our new critically acclaimed television shows about our chocolate sisters, being Mary Jane and the ever so fabulous and scandalous. Can't wait to tune in. Okay, Scandal, honey. Now, the reason I felt it was very important to tune into and to talk about these two shows is because, as we all know, Being Mary Jane has just wrapped up its season and is off air, whereas Scandal is just now coming back on air, okay? So we're going to have critical conversation today, you guys, and I really want you all to think about these things. Now, before we get into discussing the shows, because I don't really want to discuss the plight that the show brings to black women, and I'm not going to go into all that. I'm going to give you some information. We going to know some facts. We're going to understand the writers and producers behind these two shows. Now, as we know, Being Mary Jane is a show about Mary Jane Watson, who is a reporter, an upcoming news reporter who is going through the trials of family issues as well as personal problems with her relationships, but she is seeing success in her career field. It is a wonderful story about I do believe it is a wonderful story about triumph in the African American women's lives, and we're going to look at that a little further into later on. And Scandal is a fantasy story that is actually based off a real life woman. Scandal it is about a woman who is a black woman in Washington running things. I don't know any other way to put it. She's a black woman in Washington and she fixes your problems. She is a fixer just like black women are. She is a fixer and she is fixing the problems of different types of peoples, politicians and governors and mayors and all different types of people. If you got money, honey, Olivia Pope can help you. It is a wonderful story, but see, her issue is she is stepping into the role of Sally Hemings, who was the mistress of, as we all know, Thomas Jefferson. She has an affair going on with her and the President of the United States. It's a real scandalous story and it's great. And you get to watch that and watch this fantasy play out. It's wonderful. So let's get into who actually created these two stories. And you all know how I do, honey. We get our research done. We get research here. We're going to really critically look at both of these shows. Is it a positive thing that we have these two shows on television, or is it a negative? Now, the shows have been getting a lot of hoopla lately from the African American community because we're like, it's not depicting black women in the right way. You're falling back into the Jezebel and the Sapphire stereotypes archetypes we've been trying to break from, and what's happening to the Claire Huxtables. Why are we sleeping around? And in both shows, I will say that both women are having affairs. Both black women who are of actual chocolate skin tone, my skin complexion, these black women are successful, but they are having affairs with very, very married men. So it's critical. It's really crazy. So we're going to jump into it. Scandal, since Scandal started first. We're going to look at the writer and creator of Scandal, which is Miss Shonda Rhimes, as we all know. She was born in 1970. And she's from Chicago, Illinois, like many of us are. I bet y'all didn't know that. Well, now you do, honey. She is a Chi-Town native, okay? And her career started off after school. She went to the University of South Carolina, I believe, and she received her degrees from there, and she went on to actually get a job in a completely different field. And she started helping homeless people, and, you know, this is a very Wikipedia way of telling her story. But she was just an everyday person, and she built her way after Epiphany. She built her way to making Scandal. She started with the story of Dorothy Dandridge. She made some small films. She did Crossroad with Britney Spears. Okay, eventually to go into her critically acclaimed show. She had a good critically acclaimed show called Grey's Anatomy, if you all remember, on ABC. So she's been around for a while, honey, doing her thing. And after Grey's Anatomy, we all know the spinoff Private Practice. And Grey's Anatomy is actually still on television. Private Practice is not anymore. But in 2012, she created this show called Scandal that I just talked to you about. And it's really interesting to look at the woman she is and how she's become, how she is where she is, and the character she's created. The character she has created, Olivia Pope, is a very controversial character. You watch this woman who is clearly a successful black woman who is running Washington, D.C., honey, hands down, Washington would stop if Olivia Pope was not there. And I think that's wonderful to show the strength that a woman, especially an African American woman, can have over the government. But the way that it's shown is her strength sometimes lies more in her sexual experience with the president more than it does her experience in her field, which is fixing things. And I feel like you have to look at the writer and look at what she's done in her work, her body of work, Shonda Rhimes' body of work, to really truly understand why did she create the character of Olivia Pope. Olivia Pope is a real life person, and the interview was on Oprah. I'm going to let y'all catch up on that on your own, but you have to really look at her. And so I'm going to jump into Being Mary Jane. Now, Being Mary Jane is a complete opposite. It's not really a complete opposite, but it's very different from the Highfalutin Scandal, which is on ABC. Being Mary Jane is on BET, which we all know is Black Entertainment Television. Being Mary Jane, she is not at all by any means that powerful or has that much range that the character Olivia Pope has. But Mary Jane is a successful journalist, okay, an investigative reporter. She is successful. She is on some networks, so we're going to assume in our mind, let's say a real life CNN, and she's reporting the news and things that's going on, and she's very conscious. And in her own way, you watch her go through family dramas, real life things that we all see every day, go through her own family issues. You see her interact with her brother, her father, her mother, her co-workers, her female friends. And then you see this reality that she is a successful Black woman who is alone. She is a successful Black woman who has the issues that everyone has, you know, family dramas. You can see a little bit more in depth with Mary Jane, but she's alone. She is alone. She is lonely. And and when she finds out that she is having an affair, you know, mid-affair, she finds out that, yeah, I've been having an affair with a married man. When she finds out the man she's with is married, she proceeds to do the very BITCH type of thing and tell old girl that she's having the affair. She takes it upon herself to consciously continue in this affair. Same as Olivia Pope. Now, the writer of Being Mary Jane is Brock Akil. She is also born 1970. So her and Shonda Rhimes are the same age. She is a Los Angeles native. Television writer, producer. She's produced, actually in her career, her line is a little bit longer than Shonda. She was a writer for the Jamie Foxx show. She wrote 4 seasons of Moesha. Then she went on to write the Black critically acclaimed Girlfriends, and that got its spinoff, which is The Game. So if you look at Shonda Rhimes and Brock Akil, they have the same, almost the exact same careers. They both have had successes, they both have had failures, but their successes have also gotten spinoffs, and they have honed into networks that get a lot of revenue. BET and ABC are pretty big networks. I mean, people try to sleep on BET, but baby, BET is doing its thing right now with The Game and with Being Mary Jane. BET is stepping its game up, and Mara saw that, and she honed in on that, and she created a show with, I would feel, is a more reasonable version of Olivia Pope. That's what I see Being Mary Jane as. Being Mary Jane is just a very, very reasonable, deliberate, and humanistic, I guess is the best word, version of Olivia Pope, because honestly everyone can't be Olivia Pope, but all of us can be a Mary Jane. We all can have that type of success in whatever it is that we're doing, and we can get caught up in these types of situations. So the question is, even with this storyline, both of these women, what made them depict a sister in this way? Is it a negative thing? Is it a bad thing that we are seeing Black women on television, that the people who are creating these shows are Black women? They are the producers of their shows. They are the writers on their shows. They have a large majority, 75%, if not 100% control over what they are, the programming that they're creating. Do we want better? Are we disappointed in what we've seen? Again, they also have other shows that we all watch. We watch Grey's Anatomy. Again, it's spin-off of Private Practice. And we all watch Girlfriends, and we still all watch The Game. So these are 2 Black women who are doing their thing, who are making money, who is giving back to their community, but we feel as though what they're giving back to us, it's not a good truth, although it is a truth. Because I'm going to tell you now, people have affairs. They do. People have affairs. People cheat. But where's our issue lying with these 2 shows? Is it a bad show because they're glorifying the side chick? They're glorifying adultery? and they're wrapping it up with this pretty present of success and black success, but loneliness. Do we want to change these stereotypes that black women not only cannot keep, but we can't get our own men? Because again, in both pilots, it's obvious and clear in both pilots of both television shows that these women are both having affairs. It's brought out in the first episode of both shows. And it's a reoccurring storyline. And that's something that I feel like, can we eventually start to pull away from the fact and that they're lonely and that they're depressed and that they do not have functioning love life, as well as we're not even going to get into the fact that their issues with their fathers, their issues with their mothers, they have problems. Again, Scandal is a very glamorized and fictitious and fantasized way of looking at things, although we know the government does get down like that. But being Mary Jane is very real, and I appreciate the fact that it is on BET. And I feel like, again, Mara, she was on to something when she did that. I'm gonna call her NBA. I like that. She was on to something when she created that show, that kind of like easier way of looking at Scandal. But these two black women who are the same age from two different sides of the world, Chicago compared to Los Angeles, two very busy, fast-paced places. These both women are both college educated. They've had almost the same careers, and they both have decided that it's important to tell this type of story about black women. Is that scary? Is that something that is that something that we should even be bringing up in conversation? So yeah, I don't want to make you all feel bad, but honey, I was told that, Olivia Pope is only a glorified sapphire. And if you don't know what a sapphire, just like the Mammy and the Jezebel, these are archetypes that were put on black women in media, ways of them depicting us. Because with everything you do, there has to be a definition. You have to be able to define whatever character it is you're giving out in television or in a play or whatever. And the archetype of a Jezebel was seen as a lighter-skinned black woman who was a sexual seductress, and used her sexuality to get what she wants. The Mammy, as we all know, would be our new modern-day Medeas. And the sapphire would be a Mary Jane. The sapphire would be Olivia Pope. The sapphire would be a me. That is the black woman who says what it is that she wants to say. She's loud, a little bit ostentatious at moments. That's the sapphire, and it's a fairly new archetype too that has been brought up in especially black television. And I just want to know, is there a way to get a positive? Can we always look at the positives, or should we tell the nasty truth? And if we tell that nasty truth, then where's our nasty truth about Caucasian women? See, I got a young man, my friend Cordero, he posted something, and he said, what's the difference between, I think it was Sex and the City and Scandal? And I don't know where that comparison came from. No, bruh. Like, that's not the comparison I would use. I would say the comparison between Sex and the City and maybe in Living Single, maybe, because you're looking at that. But I don't know. I feel like the issue is, because of the plight that black women have had on television, these two shows are very controversial. And you know what? My sisters, they knew what they were doing, because controversy brings ratings, and both of those shows have great ratings, and they are making good money. But at what level, what risk? So I hope that soon with both of these shows we see a change in dynamic and something else happens. But I just want to know what you guys think about Being Mary Jane compared to Scandal. Or is it the same show? Is it something we should promote, especially amongst younger women? Is the fact that both of these women having affairs, is that bad? Is that bad? Is that not a reality? Is our love life not a reality? And why is that the forefront of the storyline? Why is their business and their entrepreneurship and their success not highlighted on more? I don't know. So, yeah, that's just some thoughts, you guys. And I had to do it. I had to do it. If I didn't do it, baby, I wouldn't be me. So, please, leave some comments below and let's make this discussion happen. And before you sit down and watch another episode of Scandal, baby, you better know what you watching and who wrote it. All right. Have a great day.